Hello there, Boone County. This is your Superintendent, Matt Turner. I'm here with Lieutenant Ryan Walters of the Boone County Sheriff's Department. We're here to have a conversation and ask a couple questions regarding school safety in our School Resource Officer program. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, Mr. Turner.
First of all, Ryan, let's talk about the traits and the experiences that you look for when you're hiring and getting school resource officers that'll work in our schools.
Just as an educator, first and foremost, they have to have a love and a passion for interacting with children. I mean, that's imperative to be successful as an SRO. I look for a veteran deputy with an accomplished career and compassionate and approachable. For the program to be successful, I mean, it's important that they have to be approachable.
So just probably someone that just loves being around kids.
Absolutely.
Loves kids.
Absolutely.
And I forgot to ask this earlier, but let's do this. Let's talk a little bit. Tell us about the history of the relationship between the Boone County schools and the Boone County Sheriff's Department. We've had school resource officers in all of our schools for several years. Some of our schools going way back, many, many years ago. Can you describe for everyone just a little bit of the history of our relationship?
Well, I've been here 23 years, and it goes back further than my career. But I believe it was 1997, the sheriff hired John Bowerly in conjunction, I believe it was Superintendent Blavitt. They obtained a grant for safe schools and hired John Bowerly. He was a retired state trooper, and he was the first school resource officer / community resource officer in the district. And from there, the relationship between the board and the sheriff's office continued to grow, began to staff all of the high schools with resource officers, following with the middle schools. And I believe it was 2018, after the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas school shooting in Georgia, there was an immediate need they realized the need for SROs in every school. So actually the sheriff contracted off-duty officers out of his budget to staff the elementary schools to finish that school year out. And then at that point, we had a partnership as far as having an SRO dedicated to every elementary school as well.
Yes, we're still about the last 4 or 5 years.
Correct.
We've had an SRO at every campus,
in every school,
every single school.
Every school, yes.
Great.
So that puts us at 27 SROs in the district. Yeah.
Correct. Yes, all right. Tell our parents that are watching this, what's the most important thing for them to know about school resource officers, because they're going to be in their elementary school, their middle school, their high school?
Of course, the primary focus is safety in the school. Their school security is the primary function of the resource officer. But just as in the name, school resource officer, they play a host of different roles. You know, they're mentors to the children. They're called to give social media, cyber security speeches to the kids, reading to the elementary kids. Some of them have little programs that they pick children to help go out and raise the flag in the morning. So they do a host of things much further beyond than the security, of the premises. And they take pride in their school. That is their school. When anything happens in that school, they take it personal and they want to address it and handle the situation. We have the staff come to them, asking questions about, I received a speeding ticket. Can you help navigate me through this? Do I go to court? Do I lose points on my license? All the way to, personal situations, maybe domestic violence situations in a faculty's home or a student's home. They're comfortable to come to talk to them. They can refer them for resources on how to proceed and get out of those situations.
Ryan, talk a little bit about how the relationship between the Sheriff's Department and the deputies and the school, families, students, parents, how that's been strengthened over time with us having school resource officers in all of our buildings.
Well, in the era of, the way social media portrays us against them and law enforcement, having a resource officer in the school is an opportunity for the kids and the staff to see that law enforcement officers are real people too. They have lives, they have children, they're here to solve problems just as they are. And those relationships are built, and the trust that's earned by the law enforcement officer, the SRO in the school, and the student, pays dividends down the road. It's amazing, and the testimonies we see. We see some troubled youth, and I have SROs come to me all the time with their personal stories about they had a student in their school that was going down the wrong path, and there was a lot of resistance between the two, but there was a breakthrough moment, and before you know it, they have reached them, and they've helped set the course to be on the right path. So I mean, it's wonderful to see the progress that's done in the relationships between the two.
Thank you very much there. The recent school shooting in Uvalde, Texas, there concerns every parent and everyone here in the community, especially about their children's safety in school. So what's the message to parents, the message to students, what they need to know and what they need to do about school safety?
Everybody, parents, students, faculty, staff, and the SRO, I mean, we have to realize that we have to take school security, school safety, seriously, all the way down to the drills that are done, be it a fire drill or a lockdown drill. They have to be taken seriously. The schools are its own community, and just like out in the community, we can't be everywhere, and the school resource officer can't be everywhere in the building all the time, and we will rely on the students and parents to help be our eyes and ears. And if they see something that isn't right, or they hear something that's just not right, please notify a faculty member, administrator, the SRO, or even if it's after hours, call 911. And so we can't continue to just let things go. If something just doesn't seem right, we need to address those issues. Hopefully it pans out to be nothing, but we have to investigate everything.
All right, thank you. And you mentioned calling 911 is always something for people to do if there's an emergency at hand. Many people may not know that we have our own school safety hotline within our school district. It's on our website. All of our schools post it on their websites. They put it on documents and on the doors of the school, so it's readily available there for students and for families to have. And so what that is, that's a way for people to report concerns or what they say may see problems, maybe not things that might be items you would call 911 for, but if there's an issue that a student sees or a parent sees and they think it might be a safety issue or some type of issue that school really needs to look at, we will look at those, and we charge our principals and our school leaders to look at those things within 24 hours to touch base to see what's this issue of this complaint and is there merit to it. And sometimes we may have to deal with a situation. Sometimes we might even forward it to law enforcement if it becomes a very serious situation. But that's one more way that parents and students can communicate to the school and to our SROs. Here's an issue that we have. Let's look at it and make sure everyone's safe.
Absolutely.
Lieutenant Walters, can you tell us what can parents do at home that can help keep their kids safe while they're at school?
I believe the most important thing that parents can do is be a part of their life, interact with their children, know what's going on in their children's lives. More or less be a parent to these children. Know your children. Being a child today is extremely difficult with all the social media, all the things going on in the world. It's difficult to be a child. But if parents know their children, if they know they're struggling in a certain area, they see a behavioral difference, do something about it. Seek help for the child. Utilize the school for resource for that, or their own doctor's office. Another important thing is to monitor their social media. So many things can be detected, picked up on, cues that may not be seen out in the community, but it's put out on social media. That could be picked up on to keep their child safe as well as the community safe.
Lieutenant Walters, is there anything else you'd like to add to this conversation?
Our relationship, like I said, goes back 25 years. The partnership between the sheriff's office and the district, long before me and long before Mr. Turner, but it's exceptional. The information that's transferred back and forth, it's the flow. It makes this a successful, makes it the school safe. The partnership is tremendous.
I'm very appreciative of the relationship that we have with the Sheriff's Department, and actually it's a model relationship here. The work we do with our schools and the Sheriff's Department is something that lots of other school districts are envious of, and they look to our district of, how are you doing this? How are you making this happen? Because it has been very successful for us over the years.
Absolutely. And then on the law enforcement end of things, we were reached out from agencies across the state inquiring about our program and how we established the relationship and the interactions between law enforcement and the district as well. And it is a model.
Well, thank you for your work.
Thank you.